the Caitlyn Lux combo because the Caitlyn already played here, so no Fearless.
True.
No Caitlyn Fearless, so they can't do that one at the very least, but we'll see. We'll get into the draft here. Nothing is, T1 don't need to change anything because TL chose to be second pick, and so they're going to be second pick, and T1 then gets to get blue as well.
Yeah.
So they just get the Band of Fury Rakan again. And the Yeon as well still to follow.
Yep, sticking to kind of what they know. They're changing out the Nocturne for Yeon this time around. Of course, in this Champ Select presented by HyperX. Not surprising, as you mentioned, to see T1 mostly stick to the same thing, but knowing that QUID has this very obvious pool of signature picks. They already saw the Akali game 1, don't want him to play the Yeon this time around. Did kind of add the Victor, add the Orianna to his wheelhouse in that lower bracket run. The Team Liquid were able to pull off, but see what they want to prioritize as we get into this next game. Again, it was jungled. It was prioritized by both sides so incredibly late in game 1. Maybe this time around, Team Liquid will get a higher prio jungler just a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, all right, let's see here, because Ryze is instantly locked in. Faker, Ryze. You dealt with Faker, Orianna, now Faker. Are we going through like some greatest hits stuff of all time? From
the struggle, Faker, again, when you match up against Faker is there's a lot of greatest hits.
He has a lot of good hits.
This man really doesn't miss. It's kind of like the Queen greatest hits discography. There's like 3 CDs of greatest hits here, brother.
Let's see what they decide to play into it, because of course there were adjustments to all the mid lane champions. Anivia still is, a good preferable possible matchup into it. And they go with an early Nautilus as well, investing super early on into Nautilus. Sometimes that can be scary if your opponents then immediately answer with some counter engage or Trundle or something like that, then the Nautilus can end up dying a lot. But they're jumping on the Nautilus Senna train here really, really quickly. Which is interesting because Senna got some pretty hefty changes too.
Yeah, remember that Senna and Static Shiv used to just be an incredibly powerful interaction because Static procs on hit effects and her Q cooldown reduction was on hit. Now it's on attack, so that interaction no longer works. Not sure if we'll still see Static for Senna, but it was a pretty hefty hit to her overall, as well as dropping the soul rate when she plays AD carrier when she is the one farming. And unfortunately, when you lock in a duo like this, or really any duo, the last thing you want to see Keria and any AD carry he's playing with, most certainly Peyz, is Kalista Renata. This is a terrifying 2v2 to match up against. Of course, if you get ahead of it, you can do some work, but can be so incredibly oppressive early on.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, were they going to have like Nautilus try and CS or something? Because they cut the percentage chance to drop for souls from 10% down to 5%. Right in half. And Senna's soul drop rate is one of the funniest, most changed patch notes of any champion. But they, we're on the cut. Senna's on the cut for that. Okay, but now we're going into Peyz Kalista at MSI. Now, Peyz did win an MSI.
That's
and
true.
Dropped a 28 bomb Kalista game, I believe it was, in 2024. Okay, so we'll see. And last time he actually did build a Static Shiv on Kalista previously this year. So we'll see if he goes with the Static Shiv Rage Blade builds again for the Kalista. But right into it, back to the normal side here. They're going all the way back to the Taliyah answer into Ryze.
Taking that option, of course, a lot of potential mid-game playmaking with the Nautilus, with the Taliyah, see what they can set up in the jungle. Banning away the Scion, recognizing that in a lot of the earlier stages of the game, they're really not going to have the damage to get through that tanky front line. And while Scion was nerfed, turns out he's just the best in class tank. Even if you knock him down a peg, free stacking health does a lot of work in the game League of Legends.
I'm just so, we thought this was going to happen. Like when you lock Nautilus so early, then the enemy team's going to get the counter engage. But like getting through Renata, Renata counter engage already looks so difficult to deal with. And then it's also, Peyz and Keria here on the Kalista Renata. So they're going to have some sort of plan to deal with this. So far, though, in the protection bans, the Nocturne also going to follow. Now, Oner's Nocturne is legendary, and the Nocturne nerfs were pretty fake as far as the nerfs that hit it. It was just the damage of the spell when it hits.
Yep.
But a lot of the importance of that spell is the attack damage amp that you get on the trail and for your combos. So Nocturne's still very much completely fine after those nerfs. They didn't really move him at all, so definitely deserve ban still.
T1 banning 2 top laners in the VODS and the Renekton, presumably just trying to make sure that the counter pick that Team Liquid have afforded themselves picking a second pick isn't too devastating on the top side of the map, but Team Liquid could have saved their final pick for top side. And this is a Rumble in the jungle, which I doubt, and Rumble again, another champion who was hit a little bit with the nerf bat. They're just opting for the blind here, trying to set Josedeodo up as best as they can. Okay,
a little guaranteed engage here with the Vi would be pretty nice. Combo for T1. It also takes away, because Vi is so good at keeping people on Rumble ultimate. And Vi also, that ultimate can set up the Ambessa ult really nicely. That is a pretty good combo.
That's a classic. We haven't, you know, we didn't forget about it. We just don't talk about it as much as we did when it was kind of the meta juggernaut. But now the Poppy coming out, offering some counterplay here, certainly strong against the Kalista, can interrupt the Vault Breaker, can limit some of the mobility from the Ambessa, and they have the Taliyah as well. So a lot of the interactions they have are favorable, but in terms of raw power, T1's composition still bringing a lot to the table.
Yeah, I mean, Poppy value just went through the roof. Poppy into Ambessa and Kalista, and as you say, the synergies of Poppy with their own team too. You can charge people across the rocks and charge people into Taliyah wall. I mean, the synergies are definitely there. Now you're going to have to still outplay within the game, though.
It's going to be a little bit tricky. Again, the name of the game for Team Liquid, surviving the earlier stages, making sure they can match up against this 2v2. If the nameplates were off, it might be a little bit different in terms of what we expect early on, but T1 so oppressive, even when Team Liquid were able to keep things close. Can't see a situation where this bot lane starts to run away again. On the bright side, have the power of the Rumble, the Taliyah, a lot of these big AoE abilities, a lot of roaming potential, and we know from seeing Poppy in past patches when she was this really oppressive jungler, she can get active really early on, right? Force maybe some aggressive dives.
Yeah, that definitely is true, and Jose has been the key factor there for T1 in a lot of their games, a lot of their early games, especially trying to create some action, but we'll see. Maybe he can try and put some early pressure there, try and contain that bottom lane, because the bottom lane was definitely an issue in game number 1. And with the Senna nerfs on this patch, I would think that this bottom lane is also going to be difficult for Team Liquid in game number 2.
Very true. We get into game 2, you can hear the T1 fan chants crying out. Feeling good after that game 1. Team Liquid, like you said, Senna will still scale. It's just going to take more time, and her best build path essentially removed, right, in terms of the positive interaction she had with Static Shiv. So keeping our eyes across the board on this early laning phase. Remember, game 1 started with some potential map splits, some nice early aggressive jungle invades, but with how strong the Kalista and Renata can be, although we're already seeing a bit of trading here, the most immediate damage, the shielding is there from Keria.
Yeah, and position early here from T1, good. I mean,
yeah, you just can't. You can't.
I feel like you're going to stack souls so slowly anyway, and then also with the percent being dropped down to 5% from 10. All right, we'll see. We'll keep track of it. I think correctly so. The observers are focused on the bottom side.
Yeah, they're ready.
Lane.
They know.
And at least as you can see on the mini map, Team Liquid do have Poppy pathing down to that lane, whereas T1 have Oner pathing up towards the top side of the map, and Team Liquid will be seeing that as well with the vision ward here. However, T1, they had their ward first, so that ward saw the ward that was placed by Team Liquid, so Oner knows that he is on vision right now, and they are tracking.
And if you're wondering why Poppy is getting picked, of course, on this patch, she did get the monster damage cap on her Q, the percentage max health. The overall damage just upticked a bit, so her clear speed is going to be a little bit faster, help her hopefully match or at least outmatch the Vi. Vi would be pretty content. Oner would be pretty content just to farm to 6, but we know Jose can't get a little bit more active, especially when he has the Stormranger Surge. Nice hook going in for Core. Immediate response with the handshake to just disengage there. But T1's bottom lane, full control here over the 2v2, but the appropriate level of caution, I think, for Yeon and Core.
And that was a full 6 CS lead already, like a full wave lead for the T1 bottom lane, keeping that pressure up. Again, we'll see about jungles heading down there. because right about now, Jose finished up his blue, and then he'll be done with his clear. QUID popping the ghost.
For a little bit more damage. Ooh, forces the flash out from Faker. And it's what we wanted to see in game one in the matchup between Orion and Akali, but getting it here certainly is good as well. Josedeodo, not the easiest wall angles or setups in mid lane, but maybe can force that advantage, generate something greater for the side of TL. Another hook, quick trade. Guardian there though, another sum that was changed. They hoped it would buff the ranged or the melee champions, and it certainly will, but Keria is still happy to make use. Meanwhile, Jose was thinking about a look here towards Faker, but Faker going to back off to a pretty safe area. Canceling the recall, I mean, still has a little bit of time there to work for second clear respawn, so probably not going to inhibit him too much. Meanwhile, Keria does clear out the vision here preemptively for Oner. And Observers, shout out to Observers, by the way. They are teasing us with Fog of War and have been for these first two games. Is there someone in the bush, Observers? Yes, there is! Oner taking his sweet time to walk in, making sure they can initially tank. Yeon still surviving for an extra moment. Reset now coming in. They need to get that kill so Keria can live. They make it happen, but the damage from the tower is still enough as it's heated up. 1 for 1 on the bottom side, but
QUID.
the AD carry down. QUID has to make the difference. Oner on the retreat. Core trying to keep him locked down as Peyz is able to retreat. It looks like Oner now set to fall. Dashing through, giving the kill over to Core just to deny QUID that gold.
Okay. Yeah, QUID actually had loved to get that last hit. Here we see the top side though moving down. Doran 200 HP, he's going to back right off, but they go for another dive. You know, they clear the vision for Oner and send it on in there, but that also uses a lot of jungle time. And because of that being revealed there, Jose comes in. Jose is able to take away the Gromp, it looks like, but not the Wolves. Oner is back.
Faker already has push in mid lane. You can see a TP top lane, though, so Josedeodo knows as much as he was first, he is the one who has to back away.
Or never mind, because it was a clear from bottom up to top, so the Gromp wasn't there. So no thievery at all by Jose during the response time.
The vision, nice to have, but because they spotted him in the jungle, T1 could be relatively sure that there is a bit of vision laid down there as the battle over the control wards. Both Faker and QUID going to take that information away. We look back at this bottom side play, T1 mostly making it work.
Okay, so they do. Keria is the one tanking over here, and Core says, okay, I'm going to make sure you pay for this with your life. Even though he did get the bailout, the other tower shot was still there. So good heads-up play from Core there to go flash and get the root to make sure that at least they were going to get that Keria kill. And then, because QUID moved down, Oner's like, okay, fine, I'll run away from this Taliyah, use my little Q to make sure Taliyah can't get in range. And so I'll at least give this gold over to the Nautilus rather than to the Taliyah.
And you can see the faces on the coaching staff there. As much as we're talking about the silver lining of that cloud, it's still a cloud, it's still difficult, right? Yeon not able to stick around in that bottom lane, falling wildly far behind in terms of overall CS. Is QUID now rooted up. They force out the Unraveled Earth, but they're not going to stick around for anything else, hoping to convert this into a play onto Josedeodo. QUID here too. A lot of free damage picked up early on, but the flash forward from Keria, handshake back. They know Yeon has no flash and no way to get out. Ripping the Ren stacks out of his back as Team Liquid will at least get one in return, but it's a solo kill. Morgan on the top side. The tower heating up, but not enough to finish. A double in the bot for Peyz as they're on the chase. The flash forward. Josedeodo to body block. QUID looking to make his way out. Flick back is good onto Keria. Handshake there, but the bailout is not. Josedeodo needs to retreat. Flash away right as he gets the Storm Raider's surge. The additional movement speed taking him away. Team Liquid fighting fire with fire.
Biggest, scariest thing is going to be Peyz on the map with 3 kills in Kalista here. That is terrifying. However, Lord Morgan getting the solo bolo up on the top side is also pretty impactful. He was the lone gold leader for a while in the previous game for Team Liquid, and now he's setting himself up for success there with a very nice little move on the Rumble, invested the flash and the ultimate to do so, and he's used that money to get, you know, his steel caps, and we'll see if he can have an impact in the team fights on the bottom half of the map. They will need something to kill. Wait a second.
Oh no. Oh, that's not good. Oh God. Cut the tape. Well played by Faker. A little bit awkward for QUID as now we see the 2v2 in the bottom lane. Still only level 5s here. Yeon and Core doing the best that they can to fire back as pretty easy Drake pickup for Oner after what he saw in the mid lane. And
yeah,
just a bit of an oopsie there.
Yeah, Faker walks up and sits QUID down. Here's another look at the solo, though. Okay, so he uses ultimate here pretty early, getting all of his harpoons, and little nice back step there on the ulti. Good chase down. Knew he had the full damage, invest the flash. But here it is, Keria as well. As you pointed out, Yeon had no flash from the previous tower dive, so Keria knew he could get that one. Was exchanged for the kill early on Oner, and Faker was pretty low on mana at the beginning, but then after Peyz gets both of those kills on the bottom lane, flashes forward to try and keep it going. As you know, at the end of that story, though, of course, is the Poppy still lives.
Poppy still does live, and they are able to get the kill on Keria, who did not have the bailout back up in time. Team Liquid control on the top side of the map, again, built up by the lead from Morgan. You mentioned it, but this is a guy they prioritize and draft 2 times in a row now as Yasuo in game 1. The Rumble this time around, still a blind pick, but the limit options for Doran were pretty limited, and Morgan doing the best of a good matchup, or making the best of, excuse me.
And Morgan's time in North America has been very interesting, because as soon as he came in, he was one of the premier laners, for lane phase at least. Maybe we'll have a little bit more action, though, as bot side.
Flash forward, lockup is there again. They know the summoner's not available, makes the kill so easy for the side of T1. The power of that buy, a little bit quieter pre-level 6, but post-level 6, just reliable CC setup.
Yeah, good invade, and Faker is not hesitating. He's not messing around this game. Flashes in, roots him up. They get the kill and the blue with this takeaway. Now Faker could roam top, too. He's able to roam. He pushes mid-wave, and now he wants to transfer his pressure.
Game 1, it was Keria moving across the map. This time around, it is Faker. Easy lockdown there. Doran immediately going to respond on a CC target with an ulti just to secure the kill. Morgan, that top lane lead will start to fall away as he uses the equalizer to stop any counter push. Bot lane, though, knockup is there. Immediate ulti coming in from Yeon. Josedeodo on the chase, but Oner is here as well. Looking to come in. Peyz locked up for a brief moment. Ulti from Keria going the wrong direction, but it might not work out. Peyz still holding on for a little bit too long. They can't get a kill back. Core, the only one to fall. Peyz sub 100 HP. They're desperate to get anything. Wall in from QUID. Isolating Peyz. Gets the shutdown in the meantime, and now it's Keria, who might be in trouble. Oner trying to clear as much as possible. QUID lurking in the darkness, hoping to lay down another minefield to flick Keria back into his waiting arms. The Team Liquid spending a lot of time, and it's Faker on the way. Faker in the fog of war, the unseen threat. No Realm Warp, but the warning, the Scryer's Bloom, signs the cue for Team Liquid. They need to get out.
They certainly do. I mean, it is action-packed here. The full scrap. It's still getting a lot more money for T1, but TL finally do get that kill onto Peyz. So QUID is the recipient of the shutdown money here on the Taliyah.
Be good. Peyz, though, 1.5k individual goals lead. First item already completed. We take a look back at the start of this fight.
And so the whole time here, yeah, Team Liquid, they want to get the Peyz shutdown, but Oner is going to be here for the counter gank, comes down lane. They got the full initiation from Core there with his ultimate and flash use, and then they try, but they just couldn't barely finish off Peyz there. That healing at the very end does delay his death, even though they were able to take down CoreJJ and Nautilus at the beginning. Getting the extra shutdown there for TL is nice. Of course, they also, if you're talking about adding up the different moves that were used, the only reason why QUID got to be down on the bottom side is because Faker had just made a topside play where they killed Morgan. And so if we're going all the way back, counting up where all this extra money has come from, a chain of events there started with Faker making plays on both sides of the map.
And of course, checking in on the scaling element for Team Liquid, Yeon on this Senna. We of course looked at all of the soul data across Split 2, whether it's Road to MSI, Spring, whatever your region did call it. 25 at 10 minutes, it's now 11:30, he's around 26, so probably a little bit behind where he would have been at 12 minutes, as expected. Of course, you still get souls in laning phase whenever you're able to hit someone twice or Q auto. So behind the clock, and I imagine it gets worse as we get later into the game. It's going to be harder when he doesn't have the free time to auto-attack in lane, but maybe he gets to follow Josedeodo around and pick up a couple jungle camp souls.
Yeah, we'll keep track of it, see how much delayed it is, if there's a huge impact or not. Meanwhile, Morgan right back to it here for the Rumble, been doing very nicely for himself. They're trying to leave Yeon here a little bit. I mean, the jungle is just so heavily warded up. T1, look at that deep ward up behind.
Oh, Jose,
and now they're
the one setting up the play. They're the one setting it up on him. Already used the steadfast presence, forced to flash away. Core there to cover, but losing that sum 2 seconds before the Drake starts. incredibly frustrating for the side of Team Liquid. Keria continuing to walk forward, completely unafraid. Ulti onto Peyz. Now the pullback coming through onto Keria. Immediate re-engage coming in for Oner. The flick back is good from QUID, however, and they've locked up T1's jungler. The bailout is there, but they can't finish the kill. Jose manages to live. The turn back. Peyz in trouble. Already the bailout gone. Now it's Faker versus the world, but QUID to seal the deal. A triple kill in the mid lane for TL.
Welcome to the circus, indeed. Morgan actually arrives late. Okay, it would have been best if Morgan actually didn't teleport down there and he went back to the top side, because now Ambessa's actually going to get free tower money. But still, look at this. So Team Liquid, they're on the wraparound. They know that T1 are going to continue for this, and so they set up for it. Yeon hits the roof into CoreJJ, going for the engage, and even with the 3-person ulti there from Keria, because QUID has a really good spot to try and burst down Oner. Look at the difference in HP. Jose is so low, the Rend barely does not kill him and does not give the bailout for Oner, which meant that they're able to get the early kill, and they have the presence there to move up on Peyz. Triple for QUID.
Absolutely massive. You can see the joy on their faces. Look it. He didn't know. He didn't know. Was he mad at them or was he proud of them? And I'm telling you now, he was proud after that play. Team Liquid making the most of that choke point, putting the advantage that Taliyah has in these early to mid-game fights, making sure that T1 had to fight into them. Well played. Maybe an overextension by T1 as we see yet another 1v1 between Doran and Morgan. This time around, though, equalizer. Doran with the re-engage. Morgan keeping the heat at that threshold as he tries to backstep, recognizes this fight not going his way, but now the Hex Drinker has fallen away. Doran still dashing in. Morgan flash in auto! Well timed! Morgan has Doran's number!
Yeah,
and now on the top side, they're looking to lock up Faker. Knock back to the wall. They don't quite get the wall bang. They don't get the stun, but Faker sprinting out of there as fast as he can will manage to wake it away.
Oh my goodness, Morgan with another one. This is certainly the return of Lord Morgan. Pushes it on bottom side again too. He's gonna have the extra pressure there. TL have the pressure on top side. The blast cone, oh! He did not know. He does not go for it. And Faker's able to finish the recall there, but they still have the pressure. They still push it on both towers. So the minion wave on bottom side died. The minion wave on top side also dying here. And now Team Liquid are actually pushing ahead, and their gold lead now cresting 1,000 with all the action they have been able to create in this game in the bottom side of the map. And they even chopped down on some of the gold lead there that Peyz had over Yeon. Yeon obviously still very far behind. However, these extra kills that they've been getting on the Kalista, very, very helpful, very significant. And as we saw, all 3 of those bottom side ones did go into QUID, who has been such a star here at 4TL when they had their resurgence. And people have been looking for him to return to his MVP form. Now on the international stage with 2 items and...
Oner on the flank immediately. They know QUID has a target on his back. He's the one with the gold advantage, but Oner doesn't have the backup that he needs. Ulti across the entire team coming in for Keria. Lockup is there, and it's Yeon who finds the snipe. Jose now in trouble. The flash in, a hook from Core is flawless. They've locked him up, but they're not bailing out anybody on the side of T1. TL taking the fight.
Oh, they're doing it! CoreJJ, he got his Nautilus ultimate off on Oner just in time. So even though Oner escapes over the wall, he's still in place, and Yeon could hit the Senna ultimate over the top. That burst damage, Team Liquid are going to get the objective. Afterwards as well, Rift Herald will be theirs, and they can push the minions through.
Massive fight for the side of Team Liquid. A moment ago, it was Peyz and QUID. Both of them massive gold leads over their individual number, but after that snipe from Yeon, basically evened out. Only 400 between him and Peyz now. Team Liquid, because they've weathered the storm of that early game, because they found these advantages, really making the most of their composition. You can see how hard it is for T1 to dive and get out scot-free. As much as they feel like the bailout is going to save them, it just has not been enough in the past few plays.
Man, QUID upgrades into a MSI Soul Stealer! He had 10 stacks and he is feeling it right there. Take your shot, man. Take your shot. Versus T1, they've got the gold lead. They've got the confidence to upgrade to Magi, and here it is. They have a lot of vision. Oner is the one who starts it out, though. Him and Faker coming from behind through the jungle, and Oner took the brunt of the damage, just took so much damage on the engage there, trying to put the pressure onto QUID, but they are able to burst him down. Yeon, as we said, hits the snipe because of the Nautilus ultimate holding him in place, and then CoreJJ says, fine, I'll go for another one, and he hits the flash over the wall, into the hook, onto Peyz, and they delete that Kalista.
Another charge coming into the mid lane. CoreJJ immediately going to retreat. Knock to the wall from Josedeodo. They have to be careful not to get picked off. TP coming in mid lane as well. Team Liquid once again going to lock up Oner. And now Morgan has arrived and certainly looking like royalty as Doran is sent. Running for the hills. The flash, the wall bang, the knockdown. Another double going over to the side of QUID. Just how rich can one mid laner get?
I mean, look, at the beginning of that play, you saw Faker on the screen for a second, and that Ryze noped out of it. He turned back around immediately. He saw the teleport go through, he's like, what?
And that's 2 plays in a row, because when Oner went in the previous play, Faker had to back up because Josedeodo's waiting there to knock him into the wall to stop the potential follow-up. But Peyz, hungry for blood. Lockup is there. The rest of the team, however, is not. Josedeodo finally arriving. Flashback coming from Peyz, trying to turn this one back, trying to make the most of it. The Ren stack's coming through, but QUID has arrived. Once again, the savior just in time. 22 stacks in the book. Legendary against T1.
T1 are trying to fight their way out of this, Drakos, but they're fighting into TL numbers. And TL, they all collapse around mid lane to defend Yeon and CoreJJ there. Faker stayed on the top side. He was trying to split push, trying to get the tower, while the rest of the team is just sending it.
And you can see in the Coinbase gold grind, all that money from minions, pretty nice, but it's the kill gold that we're checking out on the side of QUID. Almost 3K picking off members of T1 left and right. And this is a hard game now to play for T1 because we can see how they set up picks, but we also see the Taliyah and the Poppy who make all those dashes so difficult to use.
Hey, any NA fans that were thinking about going to sleep after that game number 1, now you gotta stay up. QUID's gonna make himself a statue for style points after he pops the scryer.
You're staying awake and you're getting a noise complaint from at least 2 of your neighbors if you really believe in this.
Dude, that was actually an arm guard too. It's not even a full Zonius yet. That he broke his arm guard for that. That is true style right there.
There you go.
Commitment.
A little bit of flair. Just like the Medjais, though, we're going to have to see what happens in this game to decide if it was genius, if it was flair, or if it was a big ol' oopsie.
I mean, that's what nervous excitement looks like. That's kind of what our coach cams were also, where they're very nervous to be excited. Faker now in the side lane, will roam up away, does escape no problem for himself. But for the TL side, after game number 1, Yeon must have been feeling really down. And the entire Team Liquid team, but they're bounced back, and seems like the morale here going to improve at least in this game. We'll see. We'll see where they go with it. Definitely a little bit of nerves and
it's hard to be certain. Yes, it's hard to be certain about what the morale is, but I would say that the Medjais is generally a good sign that the team is feeling good. Certainly at least the mid lane is Team Liquid extending, pressing forward on their vision line. They have top wave push already, so trying to chip away at the resources, kind of resorting back to clean, fundamental League of Legends. Happy with the fights they got, but not looking to overcommit or overextend.
And I do think they should feel confident and they should feel excited because, I mean, they've got the gold lead, but they also have some really good counters into the T1 champions. Poppy and Taliyah make it very difficult to play Ambessa, to play Kalista here. So very good stuff and setup here for TL. I loved this quote, by the way, so we had to grab it from NA Men. And this was the follow-up. You remember the analyst that's introduced, Pioshik's quote the previous time around about God has abandoned us. Gon says, you can only pray, but God has not abandoned us yet. So let's see how it goes.
Gave you a little side eye in game 1. You're getting the full glare in game 2, I think.
Let's see how it goes.
However, pressure again. T1 still looking comfortable in the side lanes. Faker does have to be careful. Doesn't have the Realm Warp. It was burned previously. But for TL, Senna not the best at taking down the Baron. Rumble certainly does do good damage, so really want to be in a more advantageous position. But it's only 21 minutes. We've been playing at such a breakneck pace, and honestly, both these games flash in. Lock up there. Faker in the area. Well, the book is looking a little silly now. Shut down.
No arm guard. That's the price to pay for style, I guess.
It is the price to pay.
And now he can upgrade it to his own, yes.
There you go.
If he had arm guard, he literally has flash, so he could arm guard and he could get out of that for sure. He would have lived.
But he mogged the haters. Is that what you're supposed to say? I don't know, man. Look, it was a messy play. It's unfortunate that it came back to bite him, but credit to T1. I don't even know. I think they saw the broken arm guard. We're like, I don't know when you did that, but this is lining up pretty nice for a side lane collapse. And this is why we were worried when we saw the top side of the map for T1. The pick potential in these side lanes, especially on the QUID, is really devastating. Team Liquid had done a good job of avoiding it, but try again as a story for T1.
Look at that. Very conspicuous. The book is a different book.
That's so. Kobe, he
gone.
finished that book, bro. He's on to the next one. He's just a very rabid reader, bro. He's just on to the next thing.
Yeah, a book a day, or 2 books a day.
2 books a day.
At least.
Well, the good news is, if they win this game, it's all fun. Haha, nice. If they lose, it will be a little frustrating.
Yeah, true. Okay, so let's see what they can actually do, because side lanes here, still T1 are doing well. You know, being able to push out, get the other outer tower on the bottom side. Doran's able to finish this one up. Try and get some extra money here so he can get to his Black Cleaver. It looks like. Meanwhile, T1 in kind of control mode now. They went full send.
That they did.
For quite a while there.
That they did.
Trying to fight their way back into the game. But since then, seems like they've calmed down after they had the 2 plays where Faker had to pull. Wait a second. How long are they going to go for this?
Sneaky here, but CoreJJ spotted, as I believe are the Baron Particles, trying to force T1 to respond at the very least. We'll see if Team Liquid want a full commit. All 5 members of T1 are in the area. Yeon ready to back away. Hook in, gonna catch out Doran. Doran's still gonna be immediately able to get to the back line. A fantastic ulti from Keria. Knock back onto Doran, though, means he's out of the fight. Peyz now looking to re-engage. Solid start for the side of Team Liquid, but they can't afford to get those health bars chipped down. Oner now looking to come back in. The Poppy ult took him out for a moment. The Team Liquid holding on, 1-for-1 the trade.
Yeah, good focus there. They go for the turn on this Baron. They don't do it super quick, so you just get the damage on it. And then you saw the camera follow the Nautilus and the bottom side engage for TL, but you called it out. The Poppy ultimate from Jose does turn the numbers there, so that when Doran goes in, they don't have the follow-up from the rest of T1. They are split. Now, though, they're separated because Dragon's getting taken by Team Liquid, so they're trying to get this whole point. T1 are not rushing the Baron, though. They're kind of baiting it with their vision. Be very careful with that brush.
You can see Josedeodo setting up with the Dragon. Team Liquid, though, good. They recognized immediately how quickly T1 could take this and shifted their resources away.
Okay, now the delayed start. Interesting, because they killed the control ward. TL, oh no, Core finishes his recall there. They're actually going to burn it down quickly. They've got a Kalista, man.
Smite coming back up. There's just no way. There should be no way to steal this.
The Kalista's not even hitting it. That's why.
Taking their time. That's going to be Baron to the side of T1. Incredible mind games. Linger just long enough to force a couple members of Team Liquid, wait for the recalls to come through, which they didn't even have 100% perfect information on, and then immediately start the objective. Team Liquid going to be kicking themselves after that one. They do get the Drake. They are on Soul Point, but giving up Baron is pretty devastating.
I want to see... they must have had vision. They must have known that T1 gave them vision of Peyz recalling or something, I presume.
It is... You don't.
That's why you don't. Like, oh, okay. They're probably not going to rush it.
Yeah. You don't really want to be in.
Oh wait, side lane play here. We got Morgan waiting for Faker in the brush on side wave. A classic play. Try and go for Faker on the side wave. Can they pull it off?
Faker going to be hard to run more part of this one. Josedeodo, though, using all of his CC. Faker not going to have enough time to run, but there's a TP moving its way onto the top side. Faker taken down. Yeon sniping him out, and Doran suddenly finds himself in enemy territory. Oner is there to back him up, but Team Liquid, nice pick to slow down the pressure that could come out from this Baron.
They do. Okay, another isolated death for Faker there as they pick him off. Nice little setup as Morgan, patient, waits in the side lane. No, they're going to come to try and push it, and they get the collapse there from Jose. They also pull it off very quickly there. The speed with which you pull it off, very critical, as Oner was on his way up during the Doran teleport. And Team Liquid are able to get the job done before the reinforcements arrive. But the Baron being taken by T1 does a lot for them as far as prolonging this stage.
That it does.
With that buff, though, Team Liquid going to kind of calm down for a little bit. They're going to wait for it to wear off.
Team Liquid, of course, do have to play the next couple of minutes very carefully. 3 minutes, Soul, that is probably the major objective that they are looking to take. But the side lanes, if they don't have that vision control, if they don't have that support, super vulnerable to the Vi, the Ambessa, the Ryze. They have the range advantage when we get into these fights, but it might not matter if T1 can just get on top of them or eliminate a member before a fight starts. But across the board, 3.5 items, almost 4 now for QUID, despite a brief departure to the library. Will have the penetration there. Nice initial pick-off. Flickback is there, forcing the ulti out from Peyz.
That's very big with no ults invested from Team Liquid, getting the Kalista ult down if they can force another fight. And it's a very long time until the Dragon, so it's not important for the Dragon fight, but it could be important for the Vision setup, and that can have a cascading effect. If you can get easy access to your opponent's jungle,
because of something like that and get your first vision line down. That can make it a lot safer for you to get the next ones when you actually really need them for the arrival of the Dragon Soul.
Marking the flanker is going to be big for the side of Team Liquid. Have a fantastic comp when it comes to grouping up, but a random buy on the side, a random Ambessa, Faker finding the flank really can cut all of that short.
Are they realm opening to bottom?
Now TP going out from Morgan, just respecting the kill threat there.
Okay, so it was a realm warp attempted play here and gank from Faker and Oner. And Morgan respects it. He gets out. Taliyah wall was used as well to try and get another trap up there, but nobody.
They heal out of Keria, but again, not the most critical summoner spell. I think really hoping to get something that is going to stick around for the next 90 seconds until that final or potential final soul Drake is going to spawn. Tough spot. Again, checking in. Faker, still no flash. Will be big for the fight to come. Keria's will be up in time, it looks like. And other than Morgan, everyone on the side of Team Liquid has access to those critical summoner spells, and you can see a lot of defensive utility from Core. Has that buffed Night Spout, has the Locket to try to stop any of that upfront damage from kind of some of the lethal combos that T1 can assemble with that Ambessa Vi.
Okay, very critical here. Again, the vision set up for Dragon Soul. These two brush right here towards mid lane, and then this one, this curve one towards the river, are hugely beneficial for those fights. So Jose going to defend these two with the control wards from Team Liquid still existing here. 37 seconds on the approach. Morgan doesn't have teleport. Doran's will be up much quicker.
Yeah, good pressure play coming in here. It looks like Doran's will be available just in time. So hoping to threaten at multiple points just to stop Team Liquid from getting the full group up that they're looking for. It's also T1 who have first push in the bottom side of the map. So Team Liquid going to have to play through the mid lane. T1 most likely playing through the bottom lane. As you highlighted, it's a battle for vision. If anyone oversteps or missteps on the side of Team Liquid, though, excellent collapse angle.
Pretty deep here. Fine. Looks like no further punishment.
Well highlighted by our observers, though, that there's very little vision for T1 in terms of deep vision. They have control over their own jungle, but not over Team Liquid, so not 100% sure where Team Liquid are. Now you can see them starting.
Okay, CoreJJ in the brush. He's the one to start out so many of these fights.
Fighting in this choke against Keria can be dangerous against that hostile takeover. Josedeodo lingering. They see the ball breaker getting charged up. Maybe an angle of attack. Root onto Keria. Big flick back. Gonna connect as well, forcing the immediate ult out from Peyz, but it's gonna be Faker instantly into the back line. No, opts not to take it. Instead, it's the turn for the equalizer. Or flash from Keria. Drake down in the favor of T1, and it's Peyz untouched on the back line until Core finds the hook. But the McHale's is there in the nick of time to keep things in their favor. QUID still standing, but everybody else in the back line falling. QUID has to run for his life. Dragon down. TL lose 2 in exchange for 1.
T1 clutch it there. They get the smite onto Dragon. Jose was there. They were trying to go for it with the burst as well. They get the smite onto Dragon, and then they also get the team fight. So, as you said, they get the pick on a Keria, but he just uses it as a Kalista ultimate. They go for the Realm Warp plus Kalista ult. Then look at this. By the Dragon, 2.5k. Oner's there. Jose is there. He gets the Q down. So close on the Dragon, and Oner's able to hit the smite. Then on the re-engage here, Morgan gets burst down. He gets killed right out of his zone, even with the flash going through. They get the shutdown there. 1 for Peyz and 1 for Faker. And T1, they clutched it when necessary. Now back onto the Dragon. TL, they're trying to run there.
Josedeodo hoping to find a steal. He found so many in the domestic season. 5k, getting lower. 3k, but the Kalista is there. There should just be no way. Doran might be sacrificed. QUID off to the side for now. Steadfast presence. Equalizer across the team. 1 gonna fall. Oner drops in the end. Faker trying to hold on for dear left. The Seraph is there, but he's been marked up and knocked up by CoreJJ. Morgan there to secure the kill. Double now over to Yeon as Keria is forced to run for his life.
Can they get there in time? If they check the correct brush, no, they don't know. Okay, so they only got 2 kills, 2 of the Baron buffs off. Keria should be fine and out right now. I don't know what these... Oh, he wants a play. They're gonna make another play, a repeat. TL still have members here in the area, though.
Moving in, Josedeodo, locked up. Ulti back onto Peyz, now hoping to find Doran. They instead are just going to back away. I think the right call.
Are they going to catch?
Immediate recall coming in.
Woo! Antsy here on the extra plays being made. I like it with the vision denial, but nobody going to go down afterwards, too.
If the slow from Rumble connects, you know they full send it. They go for the angle.
Wow, what a game, Drakos. And we're gonna have another attempted Dragon Soul. It felt like we just had the previous one,
It's only 2 minutes 40 seconds left here until the next one comes up.
Yeah,
but T1 have the Baron for the rest of that meantime, and we'll see what they can get with it.
And here, of course, we're reminded of the power of the Kalista. Not really much they could do to secure, but they do manage to get the exit kills.
Yeah, they're trying desperately right now just to extend the play. And so Doran, they get his flash. That might be critical for that next Dragon Soul. And they got the kill on the Oner plus Faker. So, yes, T1 got the Baron. But 2 kills, and maybe those flashes will be important for the Dragon Soul fight. Because with that Baron, it's not like you cracked the base or anything. T1 are not going to get fully inside the TL base or anything, but it is nice because it funds stuff like the Guardian Angel for Oner. Peyz has been on his 4-item spike here too with his Jack Show, getting more tanky on the Kalista.
And you can see how close this game has gotten, right? Team Liquid holding on to a pretty solid gold lead. The first Baron shifting it slightly in T1's favor, and now getting close to evening things out. 1.3K, 33 minutes in, just isn't that large. T1 not far enough ahead to really press any further on these side lanes. Know that the main objective they have to be looking at is Soul for Team Liquid in 1 minute and 30 seconds. Summoner spells, item completions, always crucial. And for the summoners, Oner, Doran, close to having their flashes available, Peyz as well, but not sure on the exact timing. If they don't have it at the start of fight and Team Liquid can pounce, that would be a massive edge.
And Yeon there on the Senna, early stages were rough, but he is up to 94 stacks on the Senna and has the IE 4-item power spike here with the Hex Optics for extra range. So we'll see if they can actually utilize that range effectively to try and keep him safe. We've seen a lot, like Doran was using his Ambessa ult straight for Yeon. They do have multiple of these point and click with Oner as well to see if they can try and take him down. And the Zhonya's Hourglass is working for QUID. And we're going to hope that it stays that way for another 40 seconds till the Dragon Soul comes up.
And both Kalista and Ryze comparatively short range, right? But if they can get on top of you, if they can get past the Taliyah, if they can get past the Poppy, and it's just QUID and Yeon left on their lonesome, the amount of DPS they can deliver is astronomical. So Team Liquid really have to hold that line, use those defensive cooldowns to stop their backline from getting dove.
I mean, yeah, we saw Faker just pumping in the previous one. The Death Cap and Actualizer on Ryze does so much insane damage. So you have to be very careful about grouping up with people. Do not want to get bursted down here in a clump. It's definitely very, very dangerous here with the Ryze at this stage. And Peyz has a QSS in addition to Keria's Mikhails.
And we've seen this before. T1 playing through the bottom lane, leveraging that pressure to move into the river. Mid lane, the story for Team Liquid. So both sides kind of drawing this line of scrimmage in the river. Neither side fishing for a flank. Although Morgan's starting to poke, trying to check. Ulti coming in from Jose is going to knock out one. Immediately, someone's going to step forward to body block it. Just keep him in the pit. Lockup is there. Root is there. Mikhail's coming in as well, but it's Morgan right on top of Peyz. Peyz holding on for a second. 3K on the Dragon, but all sides have forgotten it. Peyz still living. Flash from Keria to keep the fight in T1's favor. And Peyz just refuses to die.
T1 will run them over. Jose still wants the Dragon Soul, but Oner's going to try and keep him off it.
The battle, and Oner comes out on top. The fight in T1's favor, the objective in T1's favor. Jose set running.
T1, holy! They thought they had enough damage to kill Peyz there. 4TL, they invested everything. Morgan flashed in, but Jose's still trying to live to see the Nexus explode.
He's not going to get that opportunity. Recalls coming in. T1 taking game 2 back and forth. But they did not go quietly. They did not let that edge from TL go unpunished. And now at match point in the series.
T1 team fighting, even when you get a good position in the game, even when they had a decent amount of gold lead there for TL, T1 calmed it back down. They focused back up for the Dragon Soul fight, Drakos, and they won them back-to-back. Getting back-to-back Barons as well for themselves to put themselves to a much-deserved 2-0 versus Team Liquid here.
Incredible stuff coming out from T1.